All right, and we are back here on the GSMC Football Podcast. And for the final part of the show, we're going to talk about Joe Burrow commenting on his injury history, just some things that he had to say, and I'll give you my thoughts on it. So, some comments from him. He said, whenever the injuries start to stack up, your football mortality kind of comes into the back of your mind. So that's definitely something I thought about and something I have had to fight through. And he said he'll be ready to go by the season, coming off of that wrist injury. But he did add that it's tough to say what percentage he's currently at. That's something we're being more proactive about this year. We don't have to be ready to go in the middle of June. We have to be ready to go early September through February. That's how we're attacking this offseason. And this rehab plan and these practices and training camp, we're attacking it like I want to be out there playing in February. You always forget how hard it is coming back from injury. That's every time it happens. There's always peaks where you're like, I'm feeling great. And then a couple months later, you have a couple of days where it's like, man, I'm not feeling that great. In the past, I pushed through that and caused problems for myself. And this year, I'm not doing that. Whenever you fight through adversity and come out on the other side, it definitely gives you a feeling of invincibility at times. But obviously, that is not the case. So it's always a balancing act. And it brings up Burrow's contract that he signed recently, back in September, a 5-year, $275 million contract. And he also said, that's what this offseason has been about for me. It's not pushing through some things I've pushed through in the past. I've always prided myself on my mental toughness to be able to push through pain and push through those injuries. And so that's kind of been my growth this offseason, is taking a step back and understanding my value to the organization and the team. So a lot to say there. And, reading all that, I can't help but think about another quarterback that did retire early. That's Andrew Luck. Andrew Luck dealt with a ton of injuries, towards the end of his career. Well, I don't want to say towards the end of his career, but that's what led to him retiring. But, yeah, the first couple of years, or the first few years, Andrew Luck, played pretty much every game, but he got knocked around a lot. And then the injuries started to stack up. Like, once you got to 2015 on, Andrew Luck really just did not play. 2017, I don't think he played at all. Then 2018 he came back and he played really well. And the Colts finally got him an offensive line, and then he had an injury, in training camp, I believe, before the 2019 season. He called it quits. And, with Joe Burrow, he's dealt with a lot of injuries. You had the wrist injury, and then, which ended your season last year. Then you had the calf, which he finally shook off, and, the Bengals looked like they were going to go on a run, but that ended prematurely. And then, you go back to his rookie season. He gets hurt in that game against Washington. His knee gets teared up. He's dealt with a lot of injuries. And part of that has to do with, the Bengals, have not done a good job at protecting him. They have made moves to try to protect him, but, he is the franchise. And, you don't want to see him go down, because then the Bengals are going to be, in no man's land. Kind of like the Colts, because look what happened with the Colts. After Andrew Luck retires, you had Jacoby Brissett fill in, and, Jacoby Brissett did play well, but he wasn't going to be a franchise guy. And then you went, to Phillip Rivers, and then Carson Wentz, and then Matt Ryan, and it's just, and now you're hoping that Anthony Richardson is the guy, which, in his limited playing time last year, it looks like the Colts may have something there, with him. But yeah, for the Bengals, you got Jamar Chase, you got a team that has made it to a couple of championship games and a Super Bowl appearance. Joe Burrow is a guy that, if he could stay healthy, I think he should have a Super Bowl before it's all said and done. and we'll see if that's this year. But I mean, he's played, like I said, he's played in the Super Bowl, a couple of championship games. He's knocked off Patrick Mahomes, in the playoffs to get to that Super Bowl. Joe Burrow is a guy that at some point will win a Super Bowl. And we want to be able to see that. But, he's talking about, these injuries are kind of stacking up, and it's hard. It's draining. And that's, again, I bring Andrew Luck back into the conversation. That's why Andrew Luck retired, because he brought it up when he, in his press conference, how it's just he was constantly going through that cycle of rehab and just having to go through all that. It's draining. And that's why, like a lot of players, they kind of just say, you know what? It's not worth it. And it's unfortunate. And you hope that this is not the path that Joe Burrow is going down. And that, it's just kind of bad luck, and he can, he can go on and have a healthy career. But I don't know. I mean, he dealt with the calf, and then 2 completely different injuries. A calf injury, which, Aaron Rodgers dealt with a calf injury back in the 2014 season in the playoffs. Calf injuries in general just are not injuries you want to have. And now this wrist injury is kind of tricky. I mean, says he's ready to go for the start of the season, but, he can't really put a percentage on, where he's at. So, we'll see how he is when he plays. I mean, I mean, again, hoping for the best with Burrow, because, Burrow is one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL when he's healthy. And, him and Jamar Chase, what they do together is special. I mean, even going back to the college days, even though I didn't really watch a ton of college football when they were, at LSU. And we'll see if T. Higgins does eventually join them, with his contract situation. But yeah, I mean, the Bengals are a fun team to watch, and that has a lot to do with Joe Burrow. And when he's not playing, I mean, that hurts the Bengals' chances significantly. They play in a tough division. You're going to be battling. I think it's going to be between them and the Ravens for the division. But you play in a tough division. I mean, they do, for some reason, I'm going to bring this up, and I brought this up a couple times before, but they go to Cleveland, and they just do not. Joe Burrow does not play well in Cleveland. I don't know what it is. He just does not play well there. But you got them, and you got the Steelers as well. I mean, it's a tough division. It's the toughest division in football. But if Joe Burrow is not healthy, the Bengals are not really going to be expected to do much. I mean, even when Burrow got hurt, they did finish with the winning record, and you got to give them credit. But, even if they made the playoffs, they were probably going to be one and done anyways. So, you're hoping for the best. But, yeah, when you hear Burrow start saying things like, talking about his football mortality and things like that, you're hoping that he's not thinking about retiring. I don't want to put that out there, but, I mean, if he ends up getting hurt again, does that really start to come to the forefront? And you say, well, I keep getting hurt. This isn't worth it. That's why, again, I make that comparison to Andrew Luck. So let's hope that doesn't happen, because I don't want that to happen, because Joe Burrow is fun to watch. The Bengals are a fun team when he's healthy, like I said. So, but yeah, he's a guy that's dealt with a lot of injuries. So let's hope that, he's healthy this year, and, the Bengals, go out there and have a good year, and we see some classics between them and the teams in their division. So, but that's really my thoughts on the Burrow stuff. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I mean, you don't like to hear comments like that, because it's like, well, are they thinking about maybe retiring? But no, I don't think he is. And he did say, like, he's not going to try to push it. So I think, like, if he's dealing with an injury, he's not gonna push it. He's gonna say, take some time off, let Jake Browning play a couple games, get yourself healthy, and then go from there. Because the wrist injury was interesting, because I've brought this up, of course, as well. That Thursday night game against the Ravens, you saw he had like that sling on, and many people were saying, what's up with that? And he wasn't listed on the injury report. And then what ended up happening? He ended up getting hurt in that game. So it was odd how that all unfolded. But yeah, let's just hope that Burrow stays healthy, plays the full season, and the Bengals go out there and have a good year. But let me know what you guys think about that. About what Burrow had to say. How do you see the Bengals performing in 2024? Let me know in the comments. So, yeah, that's pretty much it for the show for today. Like I always say, make sure to check out all the other shows as well on the network. Give the other shows some love. Cover pretty much every sport. So make sure to check everybody else's shows out. From hockey, golf. I made sure to say golf early on, because yesterday I just brought it up last. So hockey, golf, basketball, baseball, women's sports, wrestling. I mean, we cover pretty much everything. So make sure to check out all the other shows as well. Everybody has been doing a great job. It's fun. So with that is all the time that we have for today. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll be back again tomorrow, 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time. And until then, I'm Kenneth Grunfelder signing off from the GSMC Football Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. Have a good day, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Take care.